Hello, my name is Ruman Khan, and today I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of grid network. But first, I'm going to be talking about what a grid network is. A grid network, otherwise known as point-to-point network, provides non-stop routes between two airports. So from one destination to another, there will be non-stop travel. A recognized point-to-point system user is the US Southwest Airlines. Usually low-cost carriers use this system. Another example of users is the courier, express, mail or parcel operations on a national basis where almost all of the depots are connected with each other due to tight time schedule. Now we'll talk about the advantages of grid network. Well, one of the advantages is a grid network benefit from higher rates of utilization of aircraft and crews and are able to maintain a large geographical footprint for cities served more than line networks. Another advantage is every point has direct connection with every other point. As well as this, there is minimum traveling time, as is from one point to another via direct route. Whereas on hub and spoke systems, keeping flight schedules tightly scheduled and operating them on time will provide connections more challenging than for grid networks. As well as this, hub and spoke systems require longer flying time than direct flights as the aircraft will stop at various destinations, whereas on grid networks, aircraft will travel non-stop to destinations. On hub and spoke systems, there is a lower aircraft utilization as large planes on trunk routes, which basically means routes with high demand, must wait for feeder aircraft to arrive before they can take off. Hub and spoke system also is more expensive for an airline to transport passenger from A to B via sea than directly like grid networks. By using grid networks, there are fewer delays as it has no need to satisfy connections. Point-to-point system has no interdependency on other flights apart from other operational constraints of the airline, such as the number of aircraft and crew that are assigned to be in precise locations to satisfy the timetable. Now that we've covered the advantages of grid networks, I'll be talking about what the disadvantages of grid network. On hub and spoke networks are able to leverage greater operational efficiencies due to better equipment and personnel utilization as aircrafts return to the main hub, while in grid networks there is no main hub, so this can't be done. In hub and spoke system, the hub can offer many connections over the course of the day or week to passengers that are routed through them. This allows hub and spoke systems to capture passengers from a large geographical area than grid networks. In hub and spoke networks, airlines can maximize yields by exploiting variations in the geographical demand and supply of transport between a variety of origins, destinations, and their associated consumers. The cost is usually high as well on grid networks as it's difficult to fill seats and destination is from one point to another with no stops in between. Also, it's difficult to fill the flights as there's no stops in between the destinations. There are less city pairs due to aircraft flying from one route non-stop to one destination only. For grid networks, the need for service routes develops disproportionately strong, whereas it remains linear in a hubbed network architecture. So now that I've done disadvantages and I've talked about the advantages, I'm going to summarize it. The grid network has both advantages and disadvantages, and today there are few airlines that use this network, as most have converted to hub and spoke, while some use both. But still, grid network has potential in providing airlines with great potential and advantages aside from the disadvantages. And here's an example of what a grid network looks like in comparison to the hub and spoke network. Okay, thank you.